Hey guys, science lesson 4. Electrical circuits again, but this time we're investigating electrical household safety, and it's important for you to know um, what's safe and unsafe practices around the home when it's dealing with electricity. Alright, so every house uses electricity in many different ways, and I want you to think about how electricity is used in your house. So write down two ways that electricity is used in the rooms that are shown there, the kitchen and the lounge room. So pause the video and jot down your answers on a piece of paper now. There's a whole lot of things you could have written down there. I've given two examples. So in the kitchen, for example, electricity is used by an oven to cook food, but you might have a popcorn maker, and so electricity is used to power that. And in the lounge room, well, one of the most important things we all have in our lounge room is the TV, but you could also have a DVD player which uses electricity. All right, so we learned about energy in previous lessons, and when energy transfers or transforms from one type to another or changes, it's called energy transformation. So, for example, when we turn a hairdryer on, the electrical energy transforms or changes into heat energy. Electrical appliances contain electrical circuits that allow them to transform electrical energy into different types of energy to complete their purposes. Because we use electricity so often in our daily lives, it's important to be safe and always use electrical appliances and electricity with care. All right, so to develop your understanding of a little bit further of energy transformation, I've got a diagram over on this side, and of course chemicals are used in batteries, but chemicals are also used in the form of, say, petrol to get a car moving. Um, it can turn mechanical pieces. It can, when we're burning coal, for example, and that is the chief form of a chemical energy that we use, and we produce electricity from that. We also have chemical energy from food that's converted to energy that we use, energy for us to work and exercise and run and play. And of course, electricity changes into light, sound, heat, and those sorts of things. So over on the left, examples of energy transformation. A toaster transforms electrical energy into thermal energy, thermal meaning heat. A blender might be used in the kitchen to transform electrical energy into mechanical energy, where it might chop up food into small pieces. The sun transforms nuclear energy into ultraviolet, infrared, and gamma energy, all forms of electromagnetic energy. Our bodies convert chemical energy from food into mechanical and electrical energy to allow us to move. And natural gas stoves convert chemical energy from burning into thermal energy used to cook food. So there's some development in your understanding of energy transformation. All right, I'm going to go into some electrical safety around the home, and to help us out, I've got a little bit of a video for us to watch, and it's going to go through the three important elements of being able to spot a hazard, assess the risk, and then make changes to remove that hazard. And in fact, that's a lot to do with safety around all sorts of places. We do it a lot at school in terms of spotting hazards, assessing it, and then making changes. So I'll jump into this other one. And let's have a little watch and listen here. He's an interesting character, is our Mike Sparks.
Hi there, everyone. Did you know electricity is all around us, especially inside your home? It's hiding. This means that there could be dangers around the house, making it unsafe for you and your family. But don't be scared, be smart, like me. Today, we have a mission to find all the hazards that could make our home unsafe. Let's be safety detectives on the search for clues. First, let's find out the 3 safety steps. Step 1. Spot the hazard. Step 2. Assess the risk. And step 3. Make the changes. By following these 3 steps, we can easily remove any dangers. We can start right here in the kitchen. Oh, an old sandwich. Who put that here? Horrible.
Making you
Another
hungry?
hazard. Do you notice any hazards with these PowerPoints? I do. Hazard 1, spotted. Now, can I ask you a question? Can you rub your tummy and pat your head? Good.
Oh,
Now,
I'm not trying
can
it.
you ride a bicycle at the same time? No? Well, give your PowerPoints a break. They can only do so much. Now, we can see here that the PowerPoint is doing too much work. Too many plugs. 2 appliances are okay, but any more can make the PowerPoint work too hard and overheat. That could cause an electrical fire. Always ask an adult to safely remove cords from PowerPoints. An adult should check all the PowerPoints in your house. They should make sure plugs are pushed all the way in, and switches or PowerPoints are not cracked, broken, or loose. Now I'm in the bathroom. Aha! Hazard 2 spotted. The hairdryer is sitting next to the sink filled with water. Uh-oh. Water and electricity are not friends. When they get together, bad things can happen. Water allows electricity to flow through it very easily. So if you touch the water, you could get an electric zap, or worse, be electrocuted. Remember, never leave an electrical appliance near the bath, basin or sink, and never touch appliances or PowerPoints with wet hands. Now here we are in the bedroom. I'm looking for damaged electrical appliances, broken electrical cords, or leads trailing across floors. Hazard number 3, spotted. Look at this frayed cord. Old broken cords are very dangerous. This damage could have been caused by pulling on the cord instead of the plug. So what do we do now? Tell an adult immediately so they can either get an electrician to fix it or throw it out. But don't use this appliance, whatever you do. Even if an electrical appliance isn't working when it's turned on at the PowerPoint, it may still be live and have electricity flowing through it, so it's still dangerous. Well, today we've spotted 3 main household hazards. Do you remember what they were? Our first danger was the overcrowded PowerPoint. The second hazard was the hairdryer near the sink filled with water. And the third hazard was the frayed power cord. By using our electrical detective skills, we've been able to make our home a safer place for everyone. But remember, if you ever think there is something wrong with anything electrical, always ask an adult for help.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, so we had those 3 things shown there. Too many cords plugged into a PowerPoint was his first hazard that he spotted around the house. The hairdryer near the room, or near the water, in fact, and then frayed cords. So, what change would you make? Well, turn them off, remove them from the plugs. There should only be the correct number that the plug is designed for. The hairdryer should be turned off at the power point and its cord unplugged, and then the hairdryer should be taken right away from that water basin. And in the third one, again, it should be unplugged, removed from the power switch, and then you can either have an electrician fix it if it's frayed, or throw it away, or if it's one of the types of cords that you can detach, you might be able to access a new cord and dispose of the old one. All right, very important things though, and common things that we all do around our own homes. Okay, so look at each of these questions and think for yourself, why is the situation dangerous? What might happen? And how could each of those be minimised? So pause the video. Some of them are quite similar, or the ones that we've come across in the previous section, but pause the video and have a look at each of these and think about how it's harmful or what you can do to minimise someone being hurt from it. Okay, do that now. All right, let's have a look at each of these situations. Why is this first situation dangerous? It's kind of obvious, and I think all of you realise that it's very dangerous to put something made of metal into an electrical device, and that's because a metal fork is a conductor, and so you're just making a link between the electricity and you through a conductor. The person holding it is likely to get an electric shock. They could be badly injured or even die. So if you have bread stuck in your toaster, tell an adult so they can supervise. If it's stuck, unplug it from the power point first of all, so that no electricity is conducted to that toaster. And then use something which is an insulator, like a plastic utensil, or definitely something that won't carry electricity through it. Looking at the second one, we do know a lot about that, but did you know how much of a brilliant conductor water actually is? Water will pass through, or electricity will pass through water just as easily as it passes through metal. And so it's very dangerous. So if somebody touches a hairdryer, they could actually, again, receive that electric shock. So don't keep it near the water to start with. And that's just not hairdryers, that's any electrical device that might be in a bathroom. Keep them well away from water. So turn it off at the wall, unplug it, and use it somewhere else. And if it has got water in it, it's probably no good and probably needs to be thrown away. The next one is a dangerous situation, because if you pull on the wire and not on the actual plug itself, you run the risk of exposing wires. And exposed wires, again, there's no insulation involved. Electricity will flow. You know the outcome of that. And so if you wish to unplug anything, unplug it correctly. Hold on to the actual plug itself, this part here. Don't pull on the wire, pull only on this part here. And they're often designed so that there's a grip on them. These sorts of cords need to be thrown away or repaired by an electrician. Very dangerous. Electricity is something I never muck around with. So if I've got anything that needs fixing or any electrical work to be done, it's an electrician for me. All right, this picture here down the bottom. Did you know that those wires outside our homes actually carry electricity? Even though we sometimes call them telephone wires or telephone lines, they're electricity lines. And long poles, especially metal poles, if they come in contact with that, create or completes a circuit, and electricity will pass through that and into the person carrying that pole. So anybody who's using materials like that, it could be ladders, it could be any um, long poles that are used for cleaning swimming pools and all sorts of things like that. No, no good at all to mix. There's even an ad campaign on TV that I've seen called Look Up and Live. So make sure that you are very safe in that situation. And the final two. So again, that's a metal knife blade going into a PowerPoint. Um, I actually remember stopping my young brother from putting a key into one of those when he was just about 2 or 3 years old, and I spotted him luckily. So again, to prevent that electric shock, we need to ensure that that sort of PowerPoint doesn't have anything placed in it. And often what people will do, especially if they have younger children, is get special insulating plugs that can push into these so that it adds extra protection to it. Oops, nearly went too far. And the last picture, there's a wire down. That can sometimes happen during storms if a tree branch comes down and breaks it. Obviously, it's very dangerous. That is really high voltage. So the best thing to do in that sort of situation is A, keep people away, and then B, contact the emergency services and they'll come out and organise it to be fixed. All right. So electrical safety at home is extremely important. Electricity will always win in a battle with you. So that's it for today. Um, Stay safe, especially using electricity, and I will catch you for lesson 5 next time. Thanks, guys. See you now.